So after an extremely impressive F2 rookie campaign where he won the title and a year off of racing, Oscar Piastri is finally in F1. It hasn't been the straightest path to F1, but now being with McLaren alongside Lando Norris, he's becoming one of the most promising F1 young talents. And to see how he got here, let's start from the beginning. Oscar was born on the 6th of April 2001 in Melbourne, Australia. He started into karts around 2011 and raced in Australia and Europe with decent success. After a few years, he transitioned into single-seaters, more specifically the 2016 Formula 4 UAE Championship. He didn't compete in the whole season and only raced in rounds 2, 3, and 4, but he still did pretty well, snatching 2 podiums in Yas Marina and finished with 94 points. A pretty decent start for Piastri, and he did show signs that he could be a great driver. So he took his talents to the 2017 British Formula 4 series, signing with Arden, a team and program known for shaping and developing young drivers. And they did that with Piastri when he had an incredible season, grabbing at least 1 podium in 8 out of the 10 races. He also snatched a few wins, most notably his back-to-back wins in the last round in Snetterton and the first round in Knockhill. He challenged for the title all the way until the last round, but came up a bit short, ultimately finishing in 2nd place, just behind champion Jamie Caroline. But this was a very good step forward for Piastri. Finishing P2 in only your 2nd season of cars? That's pretty impressive. In 2018, he decided to re-sign again for Arden, but now in the 2018 Formula Renault Euro Cup. But as impressive as last year's British F4 campaign was, Piastri didn't carry the momentum and was struggling to keep up with the frontrunners like Christian Lundgaard and Max Futrell. He finished P8 overall in the standings and P6 in the rookie standings, with a highlight of his season getting a P2 podium in Hockenheim. Later that year, Piastri would also take part in 8 races of the Formula Renault LEC Championship, but he wasn't classified. The following year, in 2019, Piastri would take another shot into Formula Renault Euro Cup, and now with our Ace Grand Prix, the reigning champs of the Euro Cup. Piastri started off a bit slow in the first round in Monza, but he was reinvigorated for the next round in Silverstone, where he took back-to-back wins and would set a tone for the rest of the season. Piastri already had one hand on the cup. He took 9 more podiums and 5 more wins, but the French driver Victor Martins was taking just as many wins. The championship would come all the way down to the last round in Yas Marina, but Piastri would just about take it with a win in the first race and a P4 in the second. And just like that, Piastri had won his first ever single-seater championship. People started to take notice of Piastri's skill, so it was no surprise that in January of 2020, after securing a Prema F3 seat, which by the way is no easy task, he was also signed on to the No Help Academy. At the time, the Renault Sport Academy. Piastri would put himself into immediate title contention when he won the first race of the season in the Red Bull Ring. He would grab podium after podium, but he would lose ground to his American teammate Logan Sargent after he had a massive push for the title in the later rounds, and also the ART driver of Teo Porcher, who also had a late push for the title. This all came to a head in the last round in Mugello, and after a first lap incident that saw Logan Sargent out of the race, it was a shootout between Teo Porcher and Piastri. Piastri was a few points ahead of Teo, and all he needed to do was finish in P7. But in the last lap of the race, he was in P8, and the ART team was starting to celebrate. But in a movie-style ending, Piastri took P7 on the line to win the F3 championship. This impressed everyone, including former Aussie F1 driver Mark Webber. The win put him into a seat in the F2 championship, once again with Prema. To be honest, this season was absolute Piastri domination. Really, only in the first round in Bahrain did he ever feel pressure. He grabbed great results like in Monaco, grabbing back-to-back P2s, and winning every single feature race from Monza all the way until Abu Dhabi. He won the title by 60 points, and it was one of the greatest F2 campaigns we've ever seen. But unfortunately for Oscar, he would be outbid for an F1 seat for the 2022 season, with his title rival Guan Yu Zhou grabbing the last remaining seat in Alfa Romeo. So Oscar would be on the sidelines for 2022 with Alpine as a reserve driver. He did do some testing with Alpine throughout the year, like in Pirelli tire tests. Later in the year, with all the silly season drama, Fernando Alonso would jump ship from Alpine to Aston Martin for 2023, meaning a spot would open up for Alpine that was absolutely perfect for Oscar. And on the 2nd of August, Alpine announced that Piastri would be driving for them alongside Esteban Ocon. People found this announcement weird. The announcement was set out on Twitter at 2 AM Australian Australian time where Piastri was at the time, and the announcement had no quotes or anything from the Aussie. Rumors and theories began flying around like this was a freaking Marvel movie, saying that Oscar might have not been signed to Alpine. And just a few hours later, Oscar took to Twitter to confirm these rumors, that he never even signed for Alpine and he was not going to be driving for them, which I might just say is just such a dumb movie plot. Like, how are you going to be that dumb to fake an F1 contract for an F1 driver whose manager is Mark Webber? Like, come on, Alpine. But anyways, we all awaited what Piastri was going to do for the 2023 season, and on September 2nd, 2022, it would be McLaren announcing that Oscar would be signing for them, and this time, it was the real deal. Oscar is set for the season alongside Lando Norris, which is no easy job, and I don't really expect much of Oscar right out the gate, and it seems like neither do McLaren. If he can just stay closer to Lando than Daniel was, it will be a very successful year for the hotshot Aussie. I wish him a lot of success.